It's Friday, the 20th of April, 2018, and welcome to Navigating Your Day. In Jin Shin Jitsu, safety energy lock number 20 came into the universe meaning everlasting or eternity. So safety energy lock number 20 helps us to connect to that part of ourselves that is everlasting and eternal. In my understanding, that would be the soul. Safety energy lock number 20 is located here on the frontal eminences on either side of what is known as the brow chakra in Eastern philosophy, or the third eye. So the third eye is that part of us that is able to move beyond our earthly vision. It's being able to go beyond our senses. It's being able to connect to that part of us that is beyond our physical body, our thoughts, and our emotions. That limitless, eternal part of ourselves. And you can work with safety energy lock number 20. You can hold both 20s like this, thumb on the one or two fingers on the other, or you can do it like it doesn't matter, all right? And you can actually hold safety energy lock number 4 by cupping the back of the head, right at the top of the base of the skull. I don't know if you can see that, all right? Base of the skull and safety energy lock number 20. And the safety energy lock number 4, which is the one at the base of the skull, that is the window. That is the window through which that part of us, that limitless, eternal part of us enters into the physical realm. And when we hold that, we open the window. It's the visionary, remember, 4. It helps us to shift the boundaries. It's the big picture seer. And we connect this with this limitless vision, this eternal vision. And when we do that, we really take ourselves out of our, even if they seem to be horrendous, our petty physical circumstances. You know, I'm not enoughness. I'm too fat. I'm not rich enough. My boss hates me. My husband's a dickhead. My kids don't respect me. Blah, 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 blah. All those things we worry about every day, which is normal. That's why we're having this particular physical journey, right? But the fact of the matter is that takes us out of ourselves. It takes us beyond our physical existence. And when we can connect to that part of ourselves that is limitless, then we know that we are capable of anything. So we can connect to our true spiritual power when we connect to the energy of safety energy lock number 20. 20 is a 2, so it helps us to maintain the balance. Remember, it helps us to see on a even. So it's easy. It's okay-ish to find benefits to a situation that's relatively unchallenging to you. So I don't know. You've got flu. What are the benefits? Well, you can stay home. You don't have to go to work. You don't have to cook. You don't have to clean. You don't have to do the groceries. People care for you. People feel sorry for you. That's quite nice because you know how many people do care for you. People are much kinder. You get to go to bed. Right? You get to rest, you need to catch up on your sleep, whatever. When it becomes something more that challenges you more profoundly, then it's more difficult to find the benefits. And when it's a huge thing, when it's something like, the war in Syria, what are the benefits? What are the benefits to those Syrians? Well, I must be quite honest with you, I don't know. That is like a big, big thing, okay? And the more we can resonate with that energy of the eternalness of us, right? The everlasting part of us, the vision that is much bigger than the physical vision that we have on earth. It helps us to, even if we can't logically or rationally reconcile that, it stops it from having such a profound physical effect on us. So that doesn't mean that we don't care. It just means that it doesn't actually stop us from living our best lives. It's a bit deep, right? Okay, so we've got the 4, which is the visionary of April, remember? So when you hold safety energy lock number 4 and you hold 20, you're holding the safety energy locks associated with the first 2 numbers in the root of the life map today. And you really can connect to that energy. The 2 from 2018 helps us to nurture ourselves so that we can nurture others as well, all right? And so the more deeply we can connect to that spiritual aspect of our nature, the more we can open that third eye, the more we can use our spiritual vision, the more we will be able to nurture ourselves on that level. And when we nurture ourselves spiritually, of course, it's going to have an exponential effect on our physical, our mental, and our emotional well-being. And when we are more integrated in that way, we can deliver a better service to ourselves and be of much greater service to the world. The hero today is the 8. 8 is, all the spiritual talk, wonderful. How are you going to make this practical? Okay, so I've just shown you a way to make it practical. You can actually do the Jin Shin Jitsu. Give yourself a treatment. That is making it practical. Holding the relevant finger, which today is the little finger, that is making it practical. All right, so 8 is about, yes, this is all great, all this emotional, spiritual, blah, it's lovely. All right, but how are we going to use this in the real world? That's 8 in the hero position, which doesn't really sound very heroic, but it is actually, because very often we can do the spiritual exploration as a form of bypassing what's actually happening in the world. So 8 in the hero position says, that's great, hold safety interlock 20, hold number 4, but understand that you can connect to that part of you that's limitless, but you are a spiritual being having a physical experience, and so it has to be practical, and you have to stay real. You can't use the spirituality as an escape, as a way of actually bypassing the responsibility that you possibly need to take for your own life, okay? And doing the work. You can't avoid doing the work. So you can do the work of the Jinshin Jitsu, and funnily enough, many people don't do that. I mean, even I don't always do that. And I know how good it is for me. Why? Well, good question, right? Why do we not want to do the work? Well, because work is hard and leisure is easy, so we'd rather have leisure than work. However, there's always a price. So if you are shooting for leisure or you're shooting for support and you're avoiding the challenge of the work, well, then you have to be okay with the status quo of how you're showing up in the world and how your external circumstances are demonstrating your life. If you're okay with that, great. The villain of today is the 1. So the 1 in the villain position, remember, this is the critical voice. The 1 says, oh, limitless, schmimitless. You're not limitless. Look at your life. Ha, spiritual being, limitless, capable of anything. You're not good enough. You're not good enough. You're not clever enough. You're not thin enough. You're not beautiful enough. You're not educated enough. You're just not enough. Your mother didn't even love you. That's the critical voice in your head. And that's the villain of today. So we need to really be aware that that critical voice is necessary, because the critical voice will stop you from, when your best friend says, I think we should, I don't know, jump into the fire. The critical voice says, are you freaking crazy? You're not jumping into the fire. The person doesn't know what they're talking about. It's criticizing the other person. That's not a bad thing. Okay, so the critical voice is part of you. It's necessary. You cannot shut it up forever, but you can be aware that that is all it is. And so to stop that critical voice, the first question you want to ask yourself is that really true? And is that really true? Well, how would you demonstrate that? The critical voice will say, well, of course it's true, right? So are you actually not intelligent enough? You might go, yeah, it is true. So who thinks you're clever? Where in your life are you, in order to, are you clever enough to get up in the morning? Do you see to your personal hygiene? Can you drive a car? Are you capable of holding down a job? Are you creative? Maybe you're creatively intelligent. Are you a caring, nurturing person? Is that a form of intelligence, right? So it's not true. So the minute you question it and you stand up to it and you say, is that really true? Is there maybe another story? Suddenly the critical voice gets slightly quieter. So do be aware of the critical voice today, and don't let it railroad you. If you're concerned about the critical voice because it keeps on telling you how you're not good enough, you can hold the little finger, because the little finger is where we have safety interlock number 20. And the little finger, remember, helps to harmonize the attitude of not enoughness, having to be perfect, the pretense, I'm okay when actually I'm not, I'm so happy when actually my life's a disaster. Think of social media, the little finger helps you to integrate your social media persona and your real persona a little bit more effectively. It's about trying too hard, having to push too hard, because ultimately the reason why we try too hard and we try and make it perfect is because we think we are not enough. So when you hold your little finger, you harmonize not only safety interlock number 20, which is you expand your vision to appreciate that you are this limitless being. And you really are incredibly powerful, and you are absolutely enough, otherwise you wouldn't be here. And it helps to harmonize that attitude of having to try harder because you're not good enough. Hope you have an amazing Friday, and I'll speak to you again on Monday.